Are you right?
Yep.
It's just a story about someone treasuring something. Happy birthday. She glanced across at her grandmother, dozing quietly in her chair. She supposed now was as good a time as any. Helen eased open the drawer and gave a heavy sigh. She scooped up a handful of its contents. A rainbow of gloves cascaded across the carpet. Nylon gloves, woolen knitted gloves, leather gloves and furry gloves. How could one person ever need so many gloves? Perhaps Grandma didn't need them. She turned and glanced towards the fireplace at the photo of her grandfather in uniform. She recalled those red-letter days of visits for Grandma's birthday. Grandma would open her presents, and Grandad would always have bought her a pair of gloves. She thanked him and smiled as she tried them on. She would even wear each new pair a couple of times before they would disappear into her drawer, and she would revert to her sensible woolen ones. Helen started pairing up the gloves. She sniffed leather. She caressed grey kidskin. She marvelled at the intricacies of cream lace. Grandma stared. Her roomy eyes peered at Helen and smiled. These sheepskin ones were wrapped separately, Grandma. What about giving those to the bringing-by? No, not those. Give them to me. She reverently stroked the beautiful blonde sheepskin. There's a tale to those. We were on honeymoon. Just a couple of days, mind, nothing fancy. We stayed with my aunt in Keswick. We used to like window shopping in the evenings, dreaming of what we would buy if we had the money. We saw these sheepskin mittens in one window. Those would keep your hands cosy, my Jack said. Maybe they would. Maybe they're beautiful, but we could never afford them. I'll knit myself some woolly ones for the winter. The next day he dared me to go and try them on. They fitted perfectly, but we pretended they didn't and giggled our way out of the shop. My mother used to come and ask how the knitting was going, and then laughed when she saw the tangled mess. I always told Jack they were coming on a treat. Well, September came, and with it my 21st birthday. Jack seemed to have invited half the street as well as family. We tucked into a good spread, then Jack called for hush. He grinned at me, then handed over a brown paper parcel tied with string. I peeled back the paper, and there they were, my beautiful sheepskin mittens. I blushed, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. My heart was full to bursting. My Jack always were a sneaky devil. To this day, I don't know how he managed it. After that, he always bought me gloves for my birthday, up to the day he died, and I treasured and kept every last pair of them. So I handed those gloves to Grandma, and she held them and smiled.